I'm good. I ain't going far.
All right, y'all. We here for another episode of HBCU Stories. This is a great event, man. Y'all share this on y'all page if y'all can. I am joined today by, I would say, three friends of mine. I know each one of these people personally. On the screen, I got my boy Deuce, who went to high school with me. He attended Howard University. I also have Nikki, who attended Johnson C. Smith University with me. And I have Shelly on the screen, who also I attended high school with, and she went to Hampton University. So we got the HU battles on the screen right now, and it's gonna get ugly in here before it get better. But I appreciate all of y'all for joining in. And on HBCU Stories, we will let ladies go first, and I will start with who I known a little bit longer, and that's Shelly, because we was in homeroom together, and I think I stayed at the back of your head for 3 straight years. You know what I mean? So
you loved it, and you loved every part of it.
It was tight all the time. It was always tight. So yeah, the kitchen was straight back there all the time.
I had long hair back then, though.
Yeah, right. So Shelly, I think the first question I'm gonna ask for all of y'all is why an HBCU, and what was the circumstances behind you choosing Hampton?
For me, I guess because we came from Willingboro, which was at first what we thought was diverse. I came from Philly, then moved to Willingboro. I wanted to get more into staying with my people.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably only applied to 2 non-HBCUs, which my parents made me just to say,
Right.
well, at least try. So I did Rutgers and Temple. My parents actually, even ironically, they were like, well, if you go to one of them, we'll buy you a brand new car with this and that. They were trying to do the whole save money so you don't have to get student loans, blah, 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 blah. I was like, nope. And so I applied to Hampton, FAMU. Hampton and FAMU were my top 2.
Okay.
FAMU, my parents were like, yo, that's an airplane ticket every time you want to come home. So that kind of, even though I still was on the fence with that, but man, I went to Hampton. I didn't even apply to that other school with the letters H and U. They didn't apply there at all.
Right.
But
You missed out.
not at all. But I went to I just was like, I was determined to just be enriched as far as our culture and to be in school and be like, go somewhere where everybody that looked like me was just trying to get ahead and a better education and keep it moving and just to feel like one, as one, and we're all going striving for the same thing as far as excellence and getting our education. So I did get accepted to the other schools, but I'm like, no, definitely not Howard, but no,
See, she can't get away. She knows she's missing.
no, no Rutgers, I was like, nah, Rutgers, nah, like Temple, nah, I just I really had a passion for going to an HBCU, and I would never, ever, ever change my decision, ever.
That's what's up. So Nikki, what was your decision on going to an HBCU?
So I didn't apply to any PWIs. I went to private school in Baltimore. I was the only Black in most of my classes because the classes were by ability. So they grouped you in 1 to 5. So it was 2 Black girls in the ones, and I was one of them. So if we took different classes, I was the only Black girl in the class. So I was ready for some Blackness. Like you said, I was ready to fight the hell. So I applied to Howard, Norfolk State, and Hampton. The difference is everybody from Baltimore went to Howard and Hampton. I'm like, I don't want to be at home, Well, I was in Norfolk. So I had a friend in Norfolk State. I had my room. I had my roommate, everything. And my parents and I, we went on college tours. And the only reason why I went to Johnson C. Smith is because they came to our school during college, college fair, and they had kente cloth on the brochure. So I said, oh, okay. So we went, but it was in Charlotte. I was like, oh, this is the country. I'm not trying to be here. But when we went there, the administration, on the tour told my parents, oh, it's such a family. If you don't come to class, we'll knock on your dorm room door. We know everyone.
Oh, wow.
It is just so wonderful. And I was looking like, no, I'm not coming down here, right? I was on Beatty Ford Road. I was like, no. So then my parents made a deal. They were like, okay, go there for one semester. If you don't like it, then you can transfer back to Norfolk. I'm sure you'll be able to still get in. So I'm like, okay, fine. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going for a semester and I'm not going to be here for long.
Right.
Please. I was Miss JCSU, SGA, government, a Delta. I had my own long hair and that. Like Smith was it for me.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing that ever happened to me. Like all my close friends still came from Smith. I still have my high school crew, but I mean, we're still like this 25 years later. Right. And it was like the best thing. It's like, how would you leave? And so I think they got me. They knew, like, go one semester. She gonna love it down there, and then she's not gonna want to leave. So that was my situation. And really quickly, I could be myself. I didn't have to represent for the entire Black community. Right? It's a bunch of us. We're in different hues. We have different tastes. You could just be yourself at the HBCU.
Right. You know what, Nikki? Until you said that, I just forgot that you were Miss JCSU, and I was a part of your court. That was the Coming to America joint we did. Right. I remember that. Okay. All right, Deuce. You tell us about the decision you made about why you went to Howard and what was the process.
So I guess quick background information. So my mom is a pirate. She went to Hampton Institute.
Okay.
HIU, But my dad went to Smith.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I never knew that.
Yeah, my dad went to Smith. Yeah, so HBCUs, I knew them very well. I had a cousin that went to Norfolk. He was older than me, so I knew a lot about HBCUs. My thing, because I was playing football, so I ended up going to Howard on a football scholarship. So, I probably applied to a gazillion schools. It's like, if they were, waiving application fee, I was signing and sending it off. Yeah, I'm applying, That was the kind of, thing. So that was probably, at that time, predominantly, white schools more so. But HBCUs, I applied, Howard. I did apply to Hampton. So I got sucked into that, Shelly. I did apply to Hampton. Norfolk. I'm trying to think of anybody else. That might have been the 3 HBCUs, but then like home, was Temple, Rutgers, because with the with the TV program, that was what I was trying to do. So I wanted to stay in I majored in communication, so I was trying to find a good communications program as well. So that was kind of the focus on what I was doing. And the funny thing though, look, I almost became a different kind of bison. Like I was recruited by Bucknell, who were the Bison also. And it's funny, they were trying to literally put together a major for me because they didn't even have a communication program.
Wow.
So they literally they was gonna put together a major for me, to get me there to play football. But then just the whole money situations where actually even got recruited by a few at Ivy League schools, but they don't have athletic scholarship and everything was kind of need-based or academic based.
Right.
And my grades were great, but hell, they weren't that great to get a whole lot of money coming out of Penn or Columbia.
Right.
So Howard came up on the scene, and I'd been there before. I went on college tours also. Hit Morgan, Dale State, Howard, Norfolk, Hampton. And actually came to Atlanta and did the AU Center, Clark, Morehouse, and hit Spelman, obviously, Morris Brown as well. But Howard, just with the communication was what won me over. So they, offered up some money. So yeah, I was in there.
No doubt.
Oh, so you was back there by default. That's what it was.
Oh, let me tell you how much this I forgot. See, so you better stop talking now. You say Hampton was sweating me so much. So we in school August. So we talking September, October. I'm still getting mail from Hampton. They still sweating. Nah, get out of here.
So that's dope. So the next question is like, so when it was time to go to school, right now, Shelly and Deuce, we all graduated together. It was time that little summer, little break right after school. Everybody good to go. I know I left in August, and I know like people was ready to go, ready to bounce. What was it like, Shelly, when you first got on campus? Because you had been and visited, but it was different when the students were there. So when you got to campus, what was that experience like?
Well, I actually went to pre-college, so I left literally 3 days after we graduated.
Right. Okay. You did a summer program then. Okay.
And that was the best thing I've ever done. Like, number one, so just picture us, coming from the borough. So this, all right, the borough. Go to this place, and first of all, Deuce can tell y'all how beautiful our campus is. Like, gorgeous our campus is.
It's all right.
So, we on a waterfront. You like, I'm away from home. I'm on a waterfront. I'm there, but no, it was an awesome experience going to the summer program because number one, it wasn't overwhelming because you only had a certain amount of people there. You got to learn the campus without 50,000 people. You know what I mean? Like thousands of people there. So, it was a great experience. And then by the time, I came back home for like 2-3 weeks. So by the time everybody else came for freshman year, like people was asking me like, where's this? And I'm like, oh yeah, you go there. Like, so I felt like I was already adjusted. Well, I was already adjusted because I knew where everything was. So it definitely was a awesome experience to do that. As far as like being on campus early and just learning about the campus and everything around the, school prior to being like I said, instead of being super overwhelmed with the rest of the freshmen, I like kind of had my way and I had my upperclassmen friends. So I felt like I was in crowd already. So it was cool. Like that was my experience. So I literally left like 2 days after our graduation. Like
right. Now when you got to Hampton, how many people did you know from high school?
Actually, so with Shaler, because Shale went.
Right.
Erica Bennett and Erica Lyons.
Okay.
I was a couple other people, I think. But those are the main ones.
Gary was there too.
Yeah, Gary was there. Yup, Gary was there. So yeah, it was cool. It was, like a few people like I got to see. Shale was there. Shale was there early too because Shale was running. He was doing track. So yeah, so it was cool. And then ironically, I had friends at Norfolk State that was from Willingboro too. So like it was cool. So it was like that was just like the over the bridge type of thing. So we connected that way. So yeah, it was cool.
That's what's up. I think I remember specifically, I think I was talking to Gary and he kept saying, "What's the name of your school? What's the name of your school again?" And I remember my freshman year, our first football game, we played Hampton. And we drugged y'all. And I called Gary was like, "You remember the name of my school now?" And he's like busting out laughing. It's like that was the last year y'all was in the CIAA. They was like, "We got to leave now. The Smith football, we got to go."
No, we tore y'all up after that.
Y'all was like, "We got to get up out of here."
We tore y'all up after that because I was in the band, so of course the band did rock y'all out too. So don't play with that.
I had a big band. Our band was straight though. We was good. All right.
That was good. I didn't care. We still rocked her out. Like it was like that.
So we're gonna talk about that too, Shelly, about the band in a minute. So Nikki, tell me about your first experience on campus when you first got to Smith.
Well, my first experience at first, when I got there, I was still like, I don't know, I don't want to be here. I want to be, back home with my friends. But first week, boom, I was an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur. First week I hit the campus, I was doing hair nails, and I came home with a stack like this because I went home to get my car so me and my mom could drive it back down. She was like, "What is going on? Did you go to class? Where'd you get all that money from?" I was killing it. My whole dorm room, we had the hair set up, the appointments, the nails. I was licensed, so I did a quick.
Oh, we lost some.
Yeah.
You
hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. Yep.
So I did the hand painted designs and did the hair. So that was it. I knew the whole campus like in a week, including the administration. So I knew everybody. I had the whole salon. Then they gave me my own salon on my dorm room floor. So it was
man.
I remember that. You were in Myers, right?
In Myers Hall, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that. Yeah, that could bring back memories. And then we met in line.
We met in line. You was the first person I met on campus in line.
Right.
And it was crazy because I had really long hair too back then, and I had a volcano. You remember the volcano back then? So I had the hairstyle, but it was all my hair. You know, weave was out, so people had started, wearing weave, but I didn't have any weave. It was my hair. So the people would be like, "She have all that weave in her hair," and I was like, "Excuse me, this is mine." They were like, "Well, who did that?" I'm like, "Me." So then they would come to the salon. So it was great for me. Like the first week, literally, like I knew almost everybody at the school.
Yeah. And now when you got to school, so you didn't know anybody either when you first got to
Yeah. Nobody. And that was my whole thing. I was like, I don't know anybody close, not even close. The closest would be Virginia, right? So my friends would have to drive down from Hampton, from Norfolk. But it just clicked, and you meet friends right away in line when you're in a class. Dean Blake, the administrator, the dean of the school, me and him clicked like the first week, and that was my boy for the rest of my tenure there. So I mean, I'll say this: going to a HBCU, I was good academically, but I learned socially and the networking and how to really interact with people and have long-lasting relationships. So that was key for me for HBCU.
Right. So Deuce, what was your experience on your first time on campus, first getting on campus at Howard?
He had to duck.
Nah.
Is that me?
You good? I don't know if it froze up on me. I don't know.
It froze, see?
Can you hear us, Deuce? Ain't nothing going on right now. We'll wait till he see if he can get it straightened out. Right now, he just got a frozen smile right now on screen.
Right?
So we'll see.
Wow, that's good.
We'll see if we get it. We see if we get it straightened out. But go. All right, Deuce, can you hear us now? All right, cool. Yeah, so tell us about when you first got on campus.
So Shelly, we got a beautiful campus as well. So we
Listen, I've been on your
waterfront
campus.
property also.
Where?
Yo, technical difficulty. Deuce get the Teddy Riley Award for this episode right now.
Look, God don't like ugly. See, when you start lying, that's what happens.
We got him back. Hold on, we got him back. Yo, you back.
See, dude, God don't like ugly. See, put it out there.
We got waterfront property. Look, my freshman dorm overlooked the doggone reservoir. We got waterfront property front on us.
Okay,
I didn't say it was the ocean, but we got waterfront property. Water was.
Y'all had to duck. Y'all like, oh snap! I gotta get the class.
I'm just saying, we got water. Don't be fronting on us. Look, we beautiful from the reservoir all the way over to Georgia Avenue.
Right.
Georgia Avenue. That's a whole other story.
That's a story.
It's a whole other story.
Right.
But yeah, so I actually went to was the pre-orientation in June, so I got a chance to meet some people, there as well. So when I finally got back, and I was there early, due to football. So
right.
Obviously I, met the team. Freshmen were in, and upperclassmen came in. So before any regular students were there, I was on campus for probably 2 weeks. So so it was actually terrible. So we were so happy to see people come in, nothing but us and the band on campus,
Right.
So, we ain't had no time. So it was good once people finally got there. That was great to see other people for a change.
Right.
And like I said, having been on the campus, I kind of knew what to expect, but it was, just a great experience seeing all the people, and all the Black people. I know we're talking about the first day, but I'm gonna go probably next semester just for a second. Mm-hmm. So where I realized how much I appreciated HBCU was probably my first basketball game, because obviously I didn't get to experience football like everybody does, but going to the first basketball game coming out of the basketball game and everybody's just out there chilling. You know, where I'm used to, you know, we lead a basketball game, right? It's fights. Look, we didn't have many gunshots, but I mean, you guarantee there's gonna be a damn fight after that.
No doubt, no doubt.
So it's nice to experience that. And I tell people all the time, it's like HBCU is an experience that you're not gonna get anywhere else in the world. You're not gonna get that many positive Black people in one place at one time. It's not gonna happen. You know, HBCU is the only place that you're gonna ever experience that. You know, so so I definitely appreciated that.
I felt like my freshman year and like all the events they had for us, Nikki, you remember like the block parties and the, you know, meetings and, you know, orientations and things like that. It just felt like a family before the upperclassmen even got to the yard. You know what I mean? It just felt like we were connected. You know, you just connected with everybody. Everything was a laughing, a joking type thing. And this was before classes even started. So, you know, by the time classes started, you know, you started weeding people out. Like, they don't never go to class. Like, they ain't going to be here next semester, so I ain't going to get close to them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, you just start picking and choosing, and you start making decisions early on who you needed to be around and who you didn't need to be around when it came to taking care of business. You know what I mean? Because some people was there to party, but some people was there to take care of business as well. So it was interesting. And the football games and the basketball games are things that click in my mind because I hadn't experienced anything like that. Like, you know, we go to high school, and our high school was big, but they ain't had no band like that inside the gym. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that loud. You know what I mean? Like, it was just different. And I was just like, this is off the chain. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I don't never want to go home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
Just for your next question. So it's talking about just getting to know people on campus. So with the freshman football players had to do, we would get an H cut in our head. So that drew so much damn attention, you know. So look, so you got to know people that way because hell, everybody saw you with a damn H in your head. We didn't get it to like the first week when everybody was back on campus. So
H for hazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. I would have been like, yo, I got a Caesar. Y'all ain't cut my hair like that. That's crazy because, you know, we had high tops then.
You would have got an ugly H. This would be nice and neat. You don't participate, it's gonna be real jacked up.
Right. That's crazy. That's hilarious. So let's talk about like just memories, stories in general, things that stick out in your mind at your experience at the HBCU. We'll start with Shelly again, and just, you know, anything that you can recall about a situation. But before we start, so you were in the band at Hampton, and I'm trying to remember. You were in the band at Willingboro? Nope. So you joined a band once you got to college?
So I don't know if y'all knew, like in Willingboro, I wasn't in part of the color guard in Willingboro, the high school, but it was a color guard called Black Watch in Willingboro. Yeah. I don't know if y'all ever
right.
So I was in Black Watch, like it was like me, Felita, Tanya, like all that, like or whatever. Shay, Bright, like all of us was in Black Watch, whatever. So I was in Black Watch during Willingboro, but I wasn't during high school. So ironically, when I was there for pre-college, something told me like just to try. I was like, let me go see. And everybody was telling me about the band. They was like, oh, it's spots. I'm like, they not gonna let a freshman come in there. You know what I mean? Like as far as color guards, they didn't let you do that unless you was coming in on, you know, playing the instrument on scholarship. So I didn't play. Even though I did play the clarinet like back in the day, but I wasn't going in for me. I wasn't doing that. But I was like, okay, this might be all right. I get to go away games. I get to chill. Like, this is going to be perfect. So I was like, my person was like, just try it. I'm like, they're not going to take no freshmen. So I tried out and I made the band. And that was like, I was like, what's up? That was awesome because I'm like, I did. I went on every away game. On a bus, traveling long bus rides, but it was a great experience. I had a ball. Going to your question as far as an experience, now this I'll start off with a bad one because my first game at home we played Virginia State,
right?
And you know we like I'm chilling. I'm like hype as I don't know what, like just like I said, that whole thing is like an experience. I'm like yes, and it was a night game. So we out there like, yeah, now we know our campus is little, you know, safe and stuff. We good, you know. Man, I remember being on top of the flags was at the top of the bleachers, and I will never forget. All I know is it was probably like third quarter. All I hear was like pop, 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 pop. Yo, I was like, yo, I'm at the top of these bleachers. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, yo, I was like, this is not what I signed up for. What do you mean? Like, what's going on? And unfortunately, you know, somehow some V-State students came in, they were strapped or whatever. But yeah, that was shut down. So that was like my first game experience. Like, what in the world? This is not supposed to be happening. Hence, you know, Hampton stopped their night games because they were like, we're not having none of this, you know. So party was not trying to have, we're not doing this on our campus. So we stopped our night games. And so that was like my first experience as far as being in the band. So go figure.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. It's crazy that happens, but it happens. But the thing about it is, it's like you deal with something like that, but it happened on our campus too. We had a shooting our freshman year, and it brought everybody closer. Like everybody was like, yo, I got you. You know, like nobody, like everybody just kind of shook it off, and it was just like we just went on to the next thing and was like, all right, this is just gonna make us stronger. You know what I mean? But we were real hesitant about seeing strange people on campus or around campus, and people was like, it was like neighborhood watch. People like, yo, who you with? You know what I mean? Like people like, yo, you know anybody around here? Like anybody know it's your man? It's your man over here? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So like it wasn't easy to get on campus after that. People was watching around, like looking at people like, yo, who is this dude? You know what I mean? So you get hit with a couple of questions. So Nikki, what's something that stands out to you at Smith?
That was the story I was going to tell. Yeah, we had a quick little drive-by over at the boys' dorm.
Right.
I'm like, I'm from Baltimore. I did not come down here for a drive-by. Like, I'm like, Mom, like, what's going on? So it was so funny. Not that it was funny that it happened, but really, I mean, it made us so close because everybody was like, oh no, who are you? And then you knew everybody by that time, you know, because the connections were tight. But it was like, how's somebody gonna try to come through with a drive-by on campus? And I don't think it ever happened before. It was just an anomaly, like out of nowhere at Lister Hall over at your dorms. And it was just crazy. I was just like, freshman year, everything was good as a whole family. We had a vibe, everybody. And then we're like, really? And my dorm, Myers Hall, is to the front of the main street.
Right.
So we heard everything like it was right there. So I'm like, oh my goodness. But that was a crazy experience. I'm like, wait a minute, do I need to go home? And then I was like, I might need to go to Norfolk.
I told
you were right. Yeah, you
so we had on last week's show, we had Goat was on, and he was telling a story, and then I remember everybody getting phone calls. Remember we had the phone call, they had the pay phones in the hallways.
Yeah.
So everybody's parents was calling those pay phones, like, yo, your mom on the phone. And I told my mom what happened because she was trying to find out what was going on. It wasn't on the news or nothing, but people had heard through the grapevine that it was a shooting on campus. So she's like, what's going on? And I was like, yo, it was a shooting on campus, and some people packing up going home. And my mom was like, you can come home and get shot. So I was like, all right. That's what I thought too. She's like, just safe. She's like, you ain't coming home. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those things or whatever. So yeah, I remember that. Do something. What's something that you can remember that sticks out in your mind about Howard?
Look, mine will stick to the gun theme. Look, freshman year. Look, three of my boys. Like, I'm the smallest of the three. I'm 6'1", and I'm the smallest.
Oh wow.
Of the four. I'm sorry, the smallest of the four. That's three. Bigger than I am. So we're going to a party. I guess it was a Saturday night or whatever. We're going to a party. So my boy goes to the ATM. I don't know. We put a couple $100 or whatever. We go to the party, have a good time. On the way back to the dorm, we're walking. We on the way back to the dorm, decide to stop by the Texaco that's down just off campus. And so, we get some snacks or whatever to go back, to the dorm. And, we're walking off. And so 3 of us go in this direction. We realize it ain't but 3 of us. So my boy that went to the ATM, whatever, somehow when he was inside, they saw him pull out all this money. So they ended up walking him on the side of the doggone gas station. jacked him for
Wow.
everything. You know, the rest of us ain't had that much, but I had probably maybe $3 in my pocket, had my wallet somewhere. So I'm just like, hey, just take it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And so there was probably like 7 people too. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like 1 or 2 people that rolled up on us.
Right.
Know? So it was crazy. So we ended up getting robbed, you know, because we're
Wow.
hungry, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, so then that happened. Then literally the next week, one of the guys that's with me is at a party. I'm not at the party, but he ends up getting shot at the party.
Get out.
Right.
So yeah, it was just crazy. That, you know, all happened freshman year. So I don't recall any other gun issues, you know.
Nah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
For real, yeah.
But it's crazy that kind of stuff. And it was like, and we all were freshmen at the same year at 3 different schools, right? So the thing about it is, and then think about it, Nick, like nothing like that happened again after that. But it was an eye-opening, but it was like it had to happen, right? For the word to get out, for everybody to be like, yo, this ain't no game.
Yeah.
We tell y'all don't go down the 2-way.
Don't
you know what I'm saying? Like we tell y'all to travel in groups, you know, and it's like, you know, they try to tell you that freshman year, but then you get people on campus like, yo, I'm from New York, man. I'm this country. I be like, all right, man, y'all keep on playing with the teams if you want to, you know what I mean? It's like people talk slow, they ain't slow, you know what I mean? It's like a whole different thing, because, you know, I had that Jersey attitude when I got down there, but I was like, yo, these jokers are scheming down here. You know what I mean? You know, it was weird. Like, and I'm gonna ask you this, and I hear, Nikki, I hear your accent still deep to this day, right? But so, and y'all was in Virginia and you was in DC, but how many times did you get questioned because you said the word John? Like, how many times did somebody like, what you talking about? Like, I got clowned left and right every time I said John when I was on campus. Like, people was like, what are you talking about, man? And I was like, John. They was like, I don't even know what that word is. Like, it was like the whole time I was in school, I was like, get clowned because I said John. Or the way I said water. Like that, that's like people would on that just because of my accent, you know what I mean? So that was deep for me too. So what would you say is, and one thing that I always say about school was my classes, when I was taking classes, I felt like the professors had a vested interest in me while I was in class. Yeah. And if I handed in something that was half-assed, my professor would pull me to the side, like, this ain't gonna do it. You know, like, and that was early on. Like, I was like, yo, these mothers ain't playing. Like, they was like, this right here in college, this ain't gonna work. I need you to take this back, do it properly, and don't give me nothing like this again. And I don't think I would have got that experience my freshman year anywhere else, other than HBCU.
Right.
You know what I mean? It kind of took me to another plateau when I was going through my education. And I just took it way more seriously once I realized I had professors that was vested in my success. You know what I mean?
They probably wouldn't have cared about you other places the same way. You know? You're
just another number. But you know, and I can't say all my professors was black, but the ones that weren't black were just as vested in my success as the ones that were black. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that was an added bonus for me once I got to an HBCU.
Yeah, I totally recall one of my first semester, and it probably won't sound like they were invested, but it put the fear in us because my first psych teacher professor said, okay, first day of class, y'all don't have to come. Just know your parents is paying your tuition. So you go right ahead and don't come to class. I don't care because I'm going to get a paycheck and they going to be still paying for that tuition. I was like, oh, Pat and Richard is going to kill me if I don't come to this class. So they still put that fear in you, like, go ahead and don't come to class. She's like, you don't have to come. I was like, all right, there's a trick in this. Like, what is she saying? But it's like, dang, like, it makes you think, like, I really don't have to come to class, but let me see. If I don't come to class, there's going to be a consequence, whether it be through not passing school or my parents killing me. So like I gotta figure this out because you know, like, but it, like you said, it really, like, they really made it seem like, listen, y'all came here for this, your parents brought you here for this is what has to get done. Like, you came here for a reason. And it was a good thing. Like, I pretty much had all good professors. Like, overall, I mean, stats kicked my butt, and that's my professor for stats was like,
that's every school.
was like, I need to see you after class. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So other than that, like, yeah, I think I had overall pretty good professors.
Right. I mean, I stats was bad for us too. We had Dr. Frazier. Nobody wanted to take Dr. Frazier, but she was so thorough. You know what I mean? In her classes, and she was so thorough. On Wednesdays, you had to dress in business attire, and that was a part of your grade. You know what I mean? And it was like, why do we gotta wear? Why it's hot? It's 80 degrees, 90 degrees outside. We gotta wear a whole suit. And she's like, you don't have to wear it. You know what I mean? Like you can get an F. You know what I mean? And it was like, but we pulled people to the side and told us the reason why I have you wear a suit every Wednesday or business attire on Wednesdays is because when you get out of here and get a job, I don't want you feeling uncomfortable at work.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, how many other schools are gonna make you do something like that to prepare you later on down the line? You know what I mean? So that was like one of those things, So Nick, I remember when we were at school, we took on leadership roles later on in our college career as student orientation leaders.
Yes.
So we were the face of the school for incoming freshmen. So, and it's weird for me because in high school, like Deuce and Shelly will tell you, I didn't take high school seriously. Like if y'all was in a class with me, I was clowning from the time I walked in the door, from the time I left. Like I was comic relief from the time I got to class, and I did not do serious work until I got to college. Like high school, I'm surprised I graduated. I put it that way. They told me to just get out. They was like, just get out, just go, because we got
just sign the papers. Like, all right, here's your diploma.
Just get out of here. You know what I mean? So, but like Nick, like how do you feel like that molded you? Like, did you feel like the student orientation leadership position was something that you grew into, or was it something you always wanted to do?
No, I grew into that because remember, I came from an all girl high school, predominantly white. So I was not all involved in, people coming to that school. It's like, let me graduate. Now, I will say it was a very high quality high school. So I did learn a lot, but I was just ready to get around some Black people in school. I didn't want to be all involved in all of that. But like I said, when I hit the campus, it was like I fell in love. I knew everybody. I was so active. And then we became SOL. Oh my God. It was the best thing ever. We used to travel to different schools. Remember we went to FAMU? Oh my God. We had so much fun. But we loved pumping up all the new students and just, the engagement. Because after we were student orientation leaders and we would bring the freshmen in every year and get them all excited when, think about your first day when you came on campus. You don't know anyone. You're like, oh my goodness. And we would shout people out across the yard like, what's up, Tony?
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, the upperclassmen know my name. Hey, what's up, Nick? I mean, they were so excited. So they felt really engaged. They felt a part of the family. Like that was a key position and a key point on campus to be a student orientation leader. And we really got involved with the administration. We knew the president, the deans, everything. So I really enjoyed doing that. And like I said, I grew into it. You know how much we used to have fun. And they used to have like overnight camp type weekend things.
I forgot about that.
It was so much fun.
I think we went camping one time. I was like, why are we out here in the woods? All these Black people, they got these dark canoes. I was like, man, they're going to kill us out here, man. I was like, I was suspicious of that joke. I was like, I don't want to be out here. But it was like, I forgot about that. Like our job as student orientation leaders was to teach the students how to have pride for their school. We pumped into them pride for the school. Like shout out JCSU whenever you want to. Like that was like you be proud about the school you go to. And if people had like a negative attitude, we like, you can go home, man. Like you don't want to be here, go home, man, because we don't want you here. Like we was that serious about the school. And so shouting out a freshman across the yard was something that we wanted. Like it's like you want to be known, so we're gonna shout you out and we know you. And it was just like a welcoming type deal. You know what I mean? So that was dope. And so Deuce, if you had to do it all over again, right? Would you change anything?
Probably not really. I mean, 'cause I
Right.
think it was a great experience from year 1 to year 4.
Right.
They're talking about some of them classes. I probably could have finished in 3.5 if I ain't repeat some of them classes. I might have got out of there in 3.5 years. But I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, it's just a great experience. I mean, it really has helped make me who I am. You know,
Right.
just one, you so like just I would instill, the greatness that Howard has, and then just being a Black person in America, so it just, like I said, you just don't get that anywhere else, so I wouldn't change a thing. Not probably now, well, maybe something, but not much.
How much?
I ain't gonna change nothing.
How would you? All right, so I'm gonna ask this question to all of y'all. How much do you still network with your classmates from college?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And we also know each other, right? And if there's a position at a job or, things like that, we filter that through to our network. Like, look, you looking what you need, it's just a big family. And I love that. And it's so funny that we're talking about all of this because I have a senior in high school this year. So I learned so much because academically she has done so well. So the PWIs are knocking her door. Like we are
we'll be losing her.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pause it for a second.
Right.
Yeah. Try again. You said the PWIs are knocking down the door.
Right, or knocking down her door, giving her scholarships just to apply, before she even put her application in. And right now we're going through early applications. So they're giving her decisions now when they usually do it in January.
Yeah.
I want her, it's such a struggle. It's like, she's going to apply to HBCUs and PWIs, but it's like, where do you go? I know the experience and the love that I had for my HBCU, and I don't think that I can. I know I wouldn't have that experience at the HBCU. I was literally able to be myself 100%, like 1,000%. Right? I didn't have to worry about. Let me say the right thing. Let me be, the black representative for everybody in class. Like I can be who I am, good, bad, and indifferent. Right? And so it's a struggle of where should she go? Should she go to an HBCU? Should she go to a PWI? And one other thing I wanted to mention is that I was a first generation college student. So I was the first in my family to go to college. I also have a master's degree. I also matriculated with a PhD. So education was very important to us. So for me, on one hand, I'm like, you have them Ivy Leagues trying to get you, girl, go to that Ivy League. But then I'm like, I want you to be able to be yourself because these 4 years, that's the only time you can be yourself. After that, it's a whole different ball game, right? So then it's like, go to an HBCU so you can get that experience, be yourself. Then you can go to Ivy League for grad school if you want to, right? So it's just up and down. But what I've done is I've just given it to her. Like, it's what you want to do, where you want to go, not what I'm thinking. But I am just so excited from being a first generation that my daughter has options. I mean, all options from Ivy League to anywhere she wants to go. They're coming after her. You know what I mean? Not that she, have to like, let me get into school. They're begging her to get there. So I'm very excited about it.
That brings up a good question because we all have kids and like we're trying to make decisions on what they want to do. And Shelly, I know your son plays music and things like that. And would you want them to go to an HBCU or do you feel like, I'll put it like this. My kids came up different than I did.
Right.
My kids came up different than I did. Like my kids are spoiled. Like my kids are spoiled. They don't understand struggle. They don't understand like I don't even think my kids would eat a tuna fish sandwich if I gave it to them. Like that, like that's the type of. So I feel like I want them to be able to experience it, but I don't know if they would appreciate it like I appreciated it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they have these. My kids, I know my kids, and I don't know if my kids will prosper in an HBCU environment like I did. because I know their personalities are not all like me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird for me to kind of make that decision. And mine are 12, so I really can't say that right now. But how do y'all feel about that?
Well, for me, like I know Jaden always, like, for instance, he loved drumline. Like when he was younger, like drumline was his, like, oh my god. And since he's in music, he's like, I'm going to an HBCU, this and that, whatever, blah blah blah. And it's funny because one of his best friends' mom, which is one of my girlfriends, she went to the other HU, so he definitely knows which one he's not supposed to go to. But
so she went to Harvard.
Whatever. So, but he's like, so they joke around. He was like, no, your mom went to the wrong one. And so they joke around. But I mean, and I tell him it's all HBCU love because we had the same feelings with Norfolk State because we can't stand them either. But but he, ironically, he wants to go to Berkeley because his passion is music. So he wants to go to Berkeley for music. So I don't want to, like, as Nikki said, I don't want to kill that vibe. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that is, you know what I mean? Because I know that Hampton's not going to give him what he wants from music, like Berkeley would. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the struggle is there, but, he's going his freshman year of high school, and he's actually going for music. So, it's like, I mean, if Berkeley going to give us some money, we going to Berkeley.
Yeah,
the money is here. You gotta
say it.
We going to Berkeley, and it's for music, like, Hampton can't top Berkeley with music. So I don't want to be a disservice to him and kill his vibe with his, like, oh, well, she wanted me to go to HBCU and I'm not getting my dream of music. Yeah, like all of them, they all have music programs, but it's not going to be a Berkeley music program.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's
not going to be a Howard. No. So I would support, like, he really, like, I mean, he is, like, set on Berkeley, and I'm trying to, like, well, son, in case you, whatever. But he's like, no, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to go. So I said, dude, whatever you do, I don't even care, because for real, you can go do music, but as long as you go, I mainly want to go for management because he also wants to produce as well. So I'm like, dude. So, like, I'm like, dude, like, wherever you go, you need to go for some type of management. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like, technically he can go to Temple because Temple has a good music program as well. But I don't want him to really be there either. You know what I mean? Like, but we shall see.
Well, the funny thing is you describing yourself because you just said in the beginning, your parents wanted you to go to certain schools. You're like, I'm going where I want to go regardless. So you dealing with the same situation. It's the same.
I know. Look, listen, I'm just like, but yeah, like, and of course, he loves our kid. He's been to Hampton, so he's like, took pictures outside and want to do this. But I'm like, son, whatever you want to do, your mom will love you to be a part. But he is like set on, like, he wants to go to Berkeley, so we shall see.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So my oldest just finished Jackson State this year, so
Oh, you already okay? Cool.
Oh yeah, you good.
But my youngest son, who's going down into his sophomore year, he'll be a sophomore at LSU. And the issue with my boys was they played baseball. So I mean, there are a lot of HBCUs with baseball. Like Howard canceled their program a few years back, so I couldn't even push Howard. They would have been good, because I'm Howard alum, their mom's Howard alum, so they would have been, good with that. But we had no baseball team. So
you could have sent them over to.
Well, let me tell you, that's the thing though. Say there's other places he could have gone, but he wanted to go to LSU. You know what I mean?
Right. So you got both sides. You got Jackson State, you got LSU, right? So can you see a difference? Like, can like your sons, like, can you talk to them about, like, the differences? Can you tell?
I think, and they talk, to each other, and I think experiences are different. And I think my youngest, I mean, it did enjoy his experience at LSU. I mean, because it's such, a big school, what I mean? So he enjoyed that,
Right.
But I think the experiences definitely are totally different.
Right.
And it's funny though, because there's a lot of black students, down at LSU now. They in there, so it's probably different than, say, it might have been 20 years ago.
Right.
Up in there now, but it's definitely a different experence.
Right.
So I still got hope. I got two younger ones, so I still got hope to try to get them in. So.
Yeah.
I go 3 for 4.
Go 3 for 4. You try to get 75%. Yeah,
exactly. I'm good.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, and that's the struggle because just like you said, you want to make sure your child is going to get the best experience and for what they want to do. So we travel abroad a lot. So my daughter's major is international business, and so USC and the Ivy Leagues, Dartmouth and Cornell, and they all have great programs where she would go to.
Connection. Hold on, she paused again.
Looks like the bottom row. We got the bad connection down here.
Yeah.
So the programs allow you to go freshman year, you're on the campus, like USC or Dartmouth. Then you go to Hong Kong for your sophomore year, Milan for your, junior year, those type of things. But our HBCUs don't have that, right? The closest you'll get is Howard because, you're right there in DC. You have the international program, all the ambassadors and, things like that. So we really don't even have enough HBCUs that can give her what she needs for her major, right? Yeah. So it's just a struggle, but I'm glad that our kids are different than we are because I'm like super loud, outgoing, yeah. Mm-hmm. But my daughter is a super introvert. She's real chill. My husband is like that too. Right. They just real quiet and chill, and she may not have that same experience that I had at the HBCU because she's, very quiet. You know what I mean? So it's like we just gotta find a balance and the right fit for her. Right. If you think about it, our kids, my kids, they grew up with more. It's more diverse. Their friends are white and Indian.
Absolutely, yeah. So she paused again. She gonna get the Teddy Riley Award too. So listen. So but you did mention it, but I gotta do this, Nick. I gotta shout out Dion because Dion is your husband is a graduate of Smith. He came in with us too. You actually married your college sweetheart, which was y'all still together, and it's amazing because like I said, you didn't go to school thinking you was going to meet your husband, but you did. You know what I'm saying? And y'all was thick as thieves from what? Freshman year all the way through, was it? Yeah. So.
From the freshman year. And next week, we are going to celebrate 24 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Wow. So I never thought I was going to, be the college sweetheart. I wasn't looking. It just happened. And he's from Jersey. So I'm like,
No doubt. Don't worry. I'm going to get Dion on here one day too. So yeah, that's dope. So y'all, listen, we getting close to the time, man. I do appreciate y'all coming on, man. This is beneficial. I think it's great to hear the stories, and who knows, man, maybe somebody will click on it one day and realize, I think I'm gonna go to an HBCU. You know what I mean? Just because of the things that we talked about and things that we relating to each other. And Deuce, like I see you DJing and stuff like that. You got the Mecca Soul sounds and things like that going on. Now, did that start at school?
No, well, the name I got obviously from the Mecca, so that's
right.
From. But I've been DJing, since back home in Jersey, in Willingboro, so I've been doing that since I was 12. So that wasn't anything that really picked up. The funny thing, I've been really doing well, probably up to maybe the last 5 years or so, and then my football thing is kind of picked up, which I pushed the DJ into the side, and so I was gonna make a push this year to put the DJing back up, and then here comes damn Corona and knocked out
everything out. Yeah. So
I got to start over next year, maybe.
Right.
A virtual party ain't like a real party,
That. Now, Shelly, before coronavirus, how many homecomings did you go to every homecoming, or did you not go to homecoming a lot?
So that situation was, I started out, but then, because of circumstances, I didn't, because we wasn't there together. I pretty much had a college, sweetheart, but then because I was a year above, so I came home. He's from Virginia, so that just kind of wasn't a bad, whatever, just kind of distance, all right, whatever. So so kind of wish I would have stayed on that path where we were there. So when You know what I mean? So no. I had a cousin that I went a couple times because I had a younger cousin that went after me. So I did go a couple times. So this hear me out. Corona messed me all up because
Oh,
I
hey, look,
was
here,
so
here go the
hyped.
here go the entanglement stories. I know.
Yeah.
We already talked
Yo,
about
we
this.
don't do. Tell me
That
I'm
was a good one.
yo, I'm telling you. I was like, all right, because this is our, as y'all all know, we all graduate. This is our 25th year, so we was like our 25th reunion. I'm like, hype. Now, mind you, I was supposed to go last year for our Greek 25th year.
Right.
But I was like, no, because I want to do it up for next year for the class 25th. I'm taking off from Thursday to Monday. I'm doing it up. I told everybody, it's like, you better come down, because they were always like, where you at? I'm like, no, 25th, I'm there. I had 2 rooms booked just in case one fell through. I was
That
like,
sounds real
swinging.
entanglement like to me.
Yo,
Look, you got the creek room and then the room you gonna stay in.
yo, I was swinging.
Here come the truth.
I was like, yo, like, I literally, no lie. I think, dude, you saw when I posted, I was like, I just canceled my room. Like, it was literally just, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just canceled, I was like having hope, like, please, let it work. And yo, like, so this, I was really about to turn all the way up to our 25th. Like, COVID messed me all kind of up.
Don't worry. Look, the school ain't going nowhere. You just gonna have to wait for everything to open back up.
We already told, because we had a Zoom 25th reunion weekend. Like, we had the DJ on there, blah blah blah. We was like, yo, the next year's class about to be real mad because we about to turn it all the way up next year because we gonna have this all bursting out. So they gonna be mad that we gotta push them out to the side. Like, no, we got payback from last year. So
right.
Yeah,
And now homecoming is always the best thing for me throughout the year. Whether I don't care about CIAA. CIAA is fun, but when you go to homecoming, it's always family. I love taking my kids for them to be able to mix and mingle and realize, they always like, Daddy, you know everybody. I'm like, yeah, everybody know me. I know everybody. We all family. You know what I mean? I remember one time standing on the plots, and we were all standing on the plots, and my daughter, I think they were about 7 at the time, and one of my daughters was like, why y'all cheer for different teams? And I was like, what you talking about? Like, why you with the red team? I'm like, nah, that ain't that's fraternity and sororities. And she was like, well, you don't like the purple team? I like, not really. You know what I mean? Like, it was funny. And then so that is like their experience. Like, they got to go through that. Now they kind of understand what it is, but it's foreign to them. And it's crazy because when I was coming up, I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because I didn't go to homecomings and things like that. Like, so, like you said, Nick, first generation, I get there, I start learning those things. And now I take my kids to see this kind of stuff so they get an idea of what to expect when they go to school.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta say one more thing though. Do not forget the Brave Boy dances. Your boy was a Brave Boy dancer. He did the for the basketball.
He started that in high school.
They already knew I was a high school. They already knew that. But see what niggas laughing about is, when I got to Smith, I turned it up. Like, I turned it up to another level. So they had Brave Boy dances, but when I got there, it was practice all the time. Like, I was like, yo, we practicing. And it's like, why we got to practice so much? Like, because when the game come, we gonna kill it out there on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, it was a rap. So yeah, I took that same work ethic we had in high school and I took it down to college, and I got my popularity from dancing and rapping of all things. So yeah, that was like it was crazy. It was crazy, yo. It was crazy. So I appreciate y'all, man. And thanks again for coming on. And I'll be talking to y'all soon.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You guys.
All right.
Nice to see y'all.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.